Welcome back, everybody, to the Simple Roadmap. Thank you so much for those of you that have subscribed, those of you that have left reviews. It really means the world to us. It makes the podcast better. It teaches us. We're still in the beginning stages of this. So thank you to all of you that have subscribed and left us reviews. My name is Efren with the Chacon Group here in San Diego, and I have my boy Oli here.
Oli Marquez. Oli does lending. What do I do? Oli does lending. There we go. Wow.
All right.
No, we're
Do it again.
Oli does lending. There we go. Holy moly. Fun stuff.
And super excited about this episode. Not only is it because it's our 5th episode, but it's also our first one with a guest. And I couldn't think of anybody else more meaningful to have on this episode, which is about giving back. The whole episode is going to be on giving back. And our guest today is Perry Yee, the founder of Active Valor. Perry, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I know it was last minute. I texted you last night.
No worries, dude.
And so grateful that you're here.
Anything for you.
So, you're so sweet.
Folks, we just had a moment.
Yeah, we had a moment.
There was eye
Perry.
contact and everything.
Yeah.
Perry, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for the
Of course.
sweaters.
No.
Active Valor.
So Perry is the founder of Active Valor, and the way I met him was actually at the Miramar golf course. The golf course, I didn't meet you there, but I saw a couple guys that were golfing with Active Valor stuff. I asked them what that was, and they told me, you started this organization to pair veterans with Gold Star kids. For those of you that don't know, a Gold Star child is a child whose parents were killed while serving in the military. And that related to me a lot because I was in the Marine Corps with my brother-in-law. And when he was killed in the Battle of Ramadi in 2004, who became my nephew, his son, he became somebody that meant the world to me, obviously, but then my wife as well. So, I have somewhat of a connection with a Gold Star family. And when I found out about Active Valor and I was already doing real estate and my business, I was like, I always promised myself, no matter what, I'm always going to give back. I'm never going to forget where I came from. I'm always going to give back. And Active Valor was the first organization that I partnered up with. And to this day, I think it's been 3 years now that I've been part of Active Valor. I can't even remember, but it's been amazing. The
March.
kids.
It was our fifth event.
Yeah.
Here.
And mind you, look, if you want to be part of Active Valor too, you got to be a veteran. All right. If you want to mentor kids, and these kids are amazing, but the energy they have. Oh my God. My first event ever was a capture the flag at an amazing ranch that allowed us to use it for Active Valor. And I mean, the kid that I have, I love him to death, and I need to get in shape because of him, because the energy this kid has it's insane, but I love it. And it really does bring like that one day that we're with them. It brings you alive, and it really means a lot because you're giving back to these kids who have gone through those very dark moments, and it's just truly meaningful. So, Perry, tell me about yourself, why you started, and Active Valor. Take us through your spiel.
Sure. Yeah. So let's see. We are now going on our 5th year with Active Valor, and
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's ironic. 5th episode.
5th episode.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Right? We did that on purpose, folks.
So we started in 2016, and how it started was, so I myself, I was in the military. I served in the Navy. I was with the SEAL teams here in Coronado, SEAL Team 7.
Wow.
I got out in 2011, and from 2011 until we started, I spent years with the lack of identity, I guess you can say, coming from especially that type of environment and community to now not really serving any purpose anymore. When I got out of the service, I was living, by myself. My entire family's back on the East Coast, so I had no support system whatsoever. Went through some really trying times, really dark times myself. And in 2014, I met my now wife, and who was just a godsend and completely changed my life, changed my view and outlook on everything. But together we were actually at the time. So this was about from 2014 to 2016. I was working here in Escondido at the Warfighter Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Doing CQB training, and it was actually my first time working with other veterans. So from 2011 until late 2014, I had never really had any interactions with any of the other vets, and so. I think we all go through it when we get out, and you think you're alone. You think that you're the only one going through these challenges and going through the transition of coming from such a structured environment and to now not. So it was eye-opening to me to meet other men like myself that have served in the military, that have been in combat, and seeing the struggles that they had gone through as well with their transition. So it was very eye-opening to me to see that I wasn't alone in that suffering, if you want to call it that. So in 2016, my now wife Jamie, we were kind of just thinking about a way we're like, how do we create a community for the veterans and give these guys and gals a chance to utilize their military service and also bringing it together with the community, right? And having them see that they're still needed in the community, that they're still valued in this country, and that just because they don't wear the uniform anymore, it doesn't mean that their service doesn't go a long way. So, we sat and talked about it, and it was just really kind of hard coming up with the concept. What were we going to do? We didn't want to do like a community service aspect because that's done quite a bit, and it also doesn't leave like a lasting impression. Like you might feel good for a day doing whatever it is you're doing, but we wanted to be able to really show these guys that what they've taken from their time in service can still translate back into the civilian world and also benefit them in the lives of others. So we sat and prayed about it, and we ended up thinking about the Gold Star family community, and you're like, wow, we have this community of families that have lost somebody to service, whether it was a parent figure, a spouse, a sibling, and have lost their connection to the military. And then you have these guys getting out of the service that have all this experience and things to give. And so pairing those two communities together was just perfect. It was a perfect matchup. You have these guys that have also, lost people, like yourself in service, whether, due to combat, due to suicide, and know the challenges of that loss. They feel the impact of the tragedy. And so pairing these two communities together, again, was just a perfect match. And so, and also seeing that it wasn't really done in this, and especially in San Diego, where it's such unfortunately, there's a lot of Gold Star families, and there's a lot of veterans in military, but there wasn't anything like it. And so we came up with Active Valor, which our main purpose is to, again, give these guys the chance to pass down their knowledge to children that now don't have that in their lives with their military connection gone. And so our main program is called Valor Adventures. And what we do is we have an outdoor adventure series where we get the veterans and families together, and it's a day to bonding. It's a day of learning. It's a day of sharing stories, but also trying to to add good memories with the bad, and with the Gold Star family aspect, they gather with us because of their situation, but they also get the opportunity to be a part of this because of their situation. And so you have all these other, Gold Star kids that are spending the day with other children that have lost a parent. All these spouses are spending the day with other spouses that have lost their husbands in service. So it really is just an all good, feel good family that we've created. And so we host these events 3 times a year. These are our large adventures 3 times a year, and we still try to get people together throughout the remaining months of the year. But it really is. It's a family, and every time we're together, it's like a big family reunion. Right now we have 43 kids with the program, and 25 Gold Star spouses, and unfortunately, over the past 12 months, we've lost a lot of our mentors leaving California. And so we lost close to 20 guys. So
20?
Yes.
How many did you have total?
We had a one-on-one pair for one mentor per kid. So
And you lost 20.
we lost 20 dudes. And so right now our biggest challenge is just finding veterans in the community.
There you go.
That will that are interested in giving back, but also, becoming part of something great again, and becoming part of something bigger, and being able to serve the community. And it's a great experience too, and the commitment. I think the commitment sounds a lot scarier to dudes before they actually get into it. And plus, a lot of our guys have, they have children of their own, they have businesses, and we want to respect people's lives outside of our organization here. But it really is something wonderful. And I don't think personally I'm super biased, but I haven't been a part or seen anything else like it. And but once you experience it, and once you can see the impact that it has on everyone there, man, there's nothing else like it.
Perry, you know why I'm blown away? It's like your passion when you tell that story. I'm like, yeah, can you tell your story? Man, you had me. I'm like, okay, continue, please continue. How long did it take you guys to think about, you and Jamie? How long did you guys really, really go through? Because you gave this a lot of thought, man. That's a brilliant idea where they're leveraging their talents and helping kids, because that's brutal.
It took us probably about, like 8 or 9 months.
Holy
when we actually started, so we started June of 2016, right? That's when we filed.
Right.
We weren't a nonprofit yet, but we didn't get our 501c3 until March of 2017. So in between then, what we actually started doing was we started out doing canine training.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So one of my good friends, John Devine, he was a canine handler in the SEAL teams, and and donated his time. So every other weekend, we went to Balboa Park down south, and we opened it up to any veteran with a dog, as long as they were a vet and had a dog, awesome. And he would just give them free basic training. But it was a good way to kind of bring vets together. We got to meet new people, and actually a lot of those are our mentors now. So it was a good way to just kind of get the ball rolling, and just kind of start that community aspect. And I would say it wasn't until like November of 2016 when we kind of were transitioning over to like the Valor Adventures portion. And so, like I said, we didn't get our 501c3 until March 2017. And our first adventure wasn't until September of 2017.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Which one was that one?
So we did we went out to Warner Springs. We had a private property out there. We had 7 Gold Star spouses and 11 kids, 11 vets. So what we did a mission-based treasure hunt. So we did this course where actually a week prior, we had all the vets out there planning out their waypoints and literally finding their spot where they buried their treasure at the end. And so when the day of came, this was September 23rd. And so kids showed up, family showed up. We didn't even know if it was going to be a good idea. Like at first we were like, what if the interactions are sad? Like what if these guys remind them too much of their dads? It could have been a disaster. Basically we were like, all right, we've one shot at this, and it's a make or break. So, the family showed up, and all the kids were super shy, head down, shaking your hand and looking at the ground, and super shy. And but we took some time that morning for them to meet their vet. They got to have some time to just get to know one another, and just to hang out and kind of just feel each other out for a bit. And so then we went through this little course where they got to teach the kids how to read a map, how to read a compass, how to get their azimuth, things like that, a pace count. And so they were actually, once we started the event, there was 5 different waypoints throughout this property. It was a big property.
Is that the same one from the last time?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So we split everybody up into their small groups, and they at every waypoint that they found, there was some type of puzzle or challenge or something they had to solve together as a team that gave them their coordinates to their next one. So they had to be successful in their mission in front of them to continue to move on. And so the whole the adventures themselves are about 2 hours. So the whole day can last from like 5 to 6 hours with everything, but the adventures themselves are always, they're 2 hours. So the kids went out, and at first, before we started, we had the original plan was to have all of their moms go with them, because they were like, hey, I'm giving my kid to this stranger that I've never met before, and we're this no-name organization. And so we were like, of course, of course you guys can go with them. We let them know how, and it wasn't intense, but it was a lot of walking. It was hot out, and so
I love how you always pick the most physical. We'll get into that, but continue.
So anyway,
He was a SEAL, right? I mean,
But Jesus, he's the only SEAL out of all the vets, I think. Is there another SEAL?
There's two. He has two others.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
So Kevin Kirk and Johnny Collins.
Hollins, I don't know. Kevin was a SEAL?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He actually just moved. He's out on the East Coast now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we're hoping that he'll still come in for the events. So anyways, we were about to start the event, and the moms, they all got up and ready to go, and the kids look back at them and they're like, what do you think you're doing? They're like, no, this is our day. And so the mom's like, all right, they're hands off.
Kids?
They at the time, they ranged from 5 to 15.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's a nice gap right there.
There's a big gap, and now it's crazy because over the past 4 years, we've gotten to see these kids grow, and it's they're not little anymore. And you're like, you literally get to see them go through their elementary school, their junior high, or high school. We've already had kids graduate from high school now, and they're off to college. And again, they become part of your family. And what's great is it's become very personal for Jamie and I. We do our best to forge good relationships with everybody. So it's not like they sign up for this event, they show up, they do their thing, and then, goodbye, we'll see you next time. Like we want to get to know these people. We want them to know they're not a number in an organization. And so it's great. We everyone's friends on social media, and we'll text with some of them, and
dude, I want in.
Yeah.
I want in. Sign me up. Come on, let's go.
But anyway, so that was the first event, and we ended up having it catered as well. We always have food at our events, depending on time of day, it's a lunch or a dinner. And so everybody came back from their treasure hunt, and kids had dirt all over their faces. And we had a family that from up in LA that are inner city kids, and they haven't really explored the outdoors before. And so it was great seeing them out and getting down and dirty. And they literally came back and they were just dirt smeared on their faces. And but everyone just ate, had a good time. And what grew that event was something we didn't plan on, which was the fellowship between all of the Gold Star spouses. Mm-hmm. So since they all just had their time alone with one another, they had the opportunity to share their stories, talk about their husbands. And what's difficult is we've had multiple spouses tell us this, but even within their own families, it's hard for them to talk about their loss because it's, quote unquote, it's old news and people don't want to hear about it anymore. And so for them, it's like they can't even share, that's one of the most important things in their life. And so now that it's great because every adventure now, the kids and vets do their thing. The moms are happy to pass their kids off for some free babysitting and get them all tired. And then they have their moments together. They can they sit. We always have a nice food spread and some drinks and stuff for them and an activity so they can just chat and just share, just talk about life and their past and present and whatever they see fit. But that was something we didn't anticipate. So
you literally built a nonprofit. Yeah. You and Jamie. That's insane. I looked into it, and it is insane the amount of work that goes into it. So it always blows me away because we were talking about this before the podcast started. Like, why did you and Jamie decide to go down that path versus you gave it a lot of thought and there was a need. What made you decide to go down that path versus support something else?
Yeah, it's a great question, and that actually floats around a lot, especially with veteran-based nonprofits, because there's so many. And in San Diego County alone, not veteran alone, but in San Diego County alone, there's over 12,000 nonprofits in the county.
Wow.
So
That are military.
just
in general. Got it.
Just in general.
Okay.
But there's a lot
12,000.
there's a lot of veteran nonprofits, and there is that issue where guys like myself feel compelled to give back and want to start something of their own, but the challenge is you might be battling with all these other organizations that have already started and might be established. And so that was something that we took into consideration. We actually looked around to see what people were doing in the area, but again, we felt called to do this, and there was nothing else around like it. So, I mean, it was the first of its kind, at least out here in San Diego, and so for us, it was a little challenging because we had no idea. We still don't know what we're doing.
But you just did. You guys see, and that's what I love. Like in one of the previous episodes, we talked about just dive in. Like if you just want to do it, dive in. Just go for it, and then the simple roadmap. If you don't know anything, then you'll figure it out along the way. But as long as you problem solve, all right. We talked about that, and that I love that. Like you guys just went for it, and I love that you guys found the need, right? Because like for example, until Active Valor, I had never heard of an organization helping Gold Star kids.
That's crazy.
And when I found Active Valor, I'll still remember my nephew was 19 years old. And at that time I was like, so when his dad died, he was 6. Ooh. So I was like, in LA, there's especially like, I can't believe it never existed in San Diego. In LA, of course not. There's very less veteran focused nonprofits, but like for that whole time, we had never heard of anything that does things for Gold Star families, and it was hard, and it blows my mind that San Diego didn't have. I mean, like you said, San Diego has so many veteran nonprofits, but nothing that's focused on the Gold Star families, and that's huge because this is probably one of the biggest Gold Star communities in San Diego.
I think people might be under the assumption that they get more support from the military than they do.
Oh, yeah, totally.
100%.
I'm shocked, man.
Yep.
When you said there was a need and it wasn't fulfilled, like, so I never served. And one of the things I would share with my boys is like, hey, look, after you graduate from high school, if you want to go the military route, go. Like I would have loved to go into the Marines. It would have changed my life for the better. And so now I'm like, we talk about the military community. There's so much talk. Oh, we support. Where's the time and money? Like back it up. Like it's great to talk. And that's why I'm blown away. Like you and Jamie did something different. There was a lot of, you could have taken the easy path, just go and support all the nonprofit that are out there. But you're like, hey, we're going to do it differently. We're going to do this. And you feel the need. We're like, I'm shocked that there was no nonprofit to serve that community, which sounds like they needed the most support out of everyone because they lost a family member.
There's other organizations that do an amazing job with helping them financially, with scholarships for the kids, or helping them with the grieving process. And that's one thing we absolutely don't focus on is the grieving. They get it other places, which is there's a time and place for it, but we want to make sure that when they come to our events, it's nothing but positive memories that they can try to supplement with. So, and if they want to talk about it themselves, that's totally fine. Some kids talk about their dads to their mentors, and it's not like a sad talk. It's and that's up to them, but we don't push it on them, and it's not a focus at all. And but yeah, funny, like when we started too, something that I found out is I don't do well working for others.
Join the club. I'm a terrible employee. So, I would get fired day number 1.
Yeah, same here. So it worked out because we got to do our own thing, but we get control. And I wouldn't say I'm a control freak, but it's hard for me when I have like other ideas and views that aren't received by others, and
you're my kind of people.
If they're the boss, then they're the boss. So yeah, that's and I actually just started my own business here recently, And again, it's like it's,
Sweet. Where'd you start?
It's me.
Let's go. Plug
Congrats.
it. Plug it. Let's go.
So it's called Fortified Measures, and what I'm doing is I'm teaching firearm home defense. And so
so that's that, because I've seen your posts.
so
I thought you were just helping people.
I'm going to people's homes,
Yeah.
and teaching them how to protect themselves within their own domain. You know, it's something that isn't offered. You know, you can go to the range, you can go to all these different classes, but I mean, it's a mobile service where I literally bring all the gear. I bring, you know, there's no need for ammo. That's
a great need right there.
What is it called again?
Fortified Measures.
Fortified Measures. Okay.
So it's fortifiedmeasures.com, but that's it. So Jamie's actually working on the website right now, of course. So it's up and coming, but it's been fun, you know, and unfortunately it is a big need right now. And it only started because of, you know, last year or, you know, the year prior with, you know, all the rioting going on. And, you know, I just had people continuously reaching out and they're like, hey, I need to, you're good with guns. I need training.
Well,
you know a little bit.
Perry, you know the reason why I haven't bought a gun is I don't want to be an irresponsible gun owner, and it's not guns that are the problem. It's people not respecting.
Oh, I agree.
You know, yep, so I think that makes perfect sense. I would be more inclined to get a gun because I had the right training and I would have my boys there. So if they ever choose, like, I do believe in freedom of choice. Like, that's what we're all about. That's what we're built on. That's what you guys serve for. Like, we got to respect that. So I think you feel in the need, like education, it's a huge need because people are going out there buying guns and dude, you don't want to shot someone you love. So
no, I 100% agree. And it's, you know, again, I'm all for the Second Amendment, but it's completely irresponsible to just buy a firearm, keep it in the nightstand. Or I mean, I know people that have gotten their CCWs that have had no training. And they're walking around San Diego carrying. And again, I'm all for it. And they have that right. And they should have that right. But you need to take those steps and get yourself.
So I have two
responsibility. Right?
Yeah. I have two real estate agent that I know. Two real estate agents that I know. Pro Second Amendment, love the military, law enforcement. We got to talking. And they like going to shoot. So I was like, yeah, let's go shoot. I want to see, you know, how you guys are. I have my training obviously is not like yours. I got basic understanding of weapons handling and from military and law enforcement, but these guys actually go out a lot for weapons handling, like once a month to go shoot. And I was like, okay, why are you guys doing this for though? Like, well, in case something ever happens, you know, we travel a lot. Our families are home alone. Our wives come with us. And I was like, have you guys trained for if it's in the house though? Because if that's the whole point, like you got to train for what you're planning for. And they're like, oh, we never thought about it. So I told them, I was like, I'll take you guys to this indoor range here in San Diego where you can move the walls and all that, right? And I'll show you what I can. But now that I know that you're actually doing this as a business, I'm going to put them in touch with you because they need your expertise, that, not mine.
And the thing is too, is you get to learn, but it's a ton of fun too. Because there's no lethal anything, right? Because obviously you're in the comforts of your own home.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're all training weapons, you know, CO2 powered stuff, laser stuff, mobile targets. Like it's a ton of fun, but you can literally teach people how to clear their entire space. Also go over, you know, the legalities of what it's, you know, if you're in a home invasion, there's still laws you need to abide by. And,
right.
So we go over all that, but I do a 5-day and a 10-day course. So it's not a one-time deal because obviously there's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of muscle memory that needs to be built. And so, it's a ton of fun, man.
Is there any other businesses that you've looked at that are doing that? Good for you, man. You're outside the box. You're like, okay, so where's their need? I'm going to figure this out. Boom. Nonprofit. Boom.
And Fortified, you know, what works with me.
Yeah. What's it called?
Fortified Measures.
Measures. Okay.
And you're eventually going to have a website. It's fortifiedmeasures.com.
Yeah. And it's active. It's just not, it's not extremely built up right now.
But I mean, part of being an entrepreneur, right? Everything is building.
Right. But I mean, all my clients so far have all been word of mouth. And so it's been nice.
Going back to Active Valor.
Yes, sir.
I love how you said it's a moment like when we're with the kids, right? Because I'm a mentor with Active Valor and I have, I don't know if officially two. I know I have one.
Yeah.
But
Jace is your dude.
Yeah. But if I can get, I love Max. You know, I don't know who his mentor is, but I mean, we're friends on Snapchat, Instagram now. We talk like that kid, man. But Perry said, you know, on those days, kids come with us, the vets, so we can wear them out. And Jace doesn't wear out. That kid is like there's Bang energy drinks flowing through his
I have one
body.
at home, buddy. I have one at home.
Man, and like all the moms are asleep. I start, and I never fall asleep. And I remember the last event, I was like, oh, I'm falling asleep on. It was with the buses where we went on that ranch.
Oh yeah.
And
So he wakes
Jason's
you
like,
out.
how about this? How about that? And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm like waking up. But it's, man, Active Valor is it's one organization I will, as long as it exists, I will continue supporting. I will continue being part of it because with us vets, I mean, just let's talk men in general, right? Men in general have a hard time seeking help when they're going through stuff, seeking advice, counseling, even though like within this circle, I could literally say anytime, please call me.
Right.
Call me.
Right.
And we've been there. I've been there. And when we're the ones on the other end, our pride kicks in, our ego kicks in. It's like, I don't want to call Perry. I don't want to burden him with my issues. I don't, you know, and
But the funny thing is you've been on the other side. Like, you know that you wouldn't be, or, you know, I wouldn't be a burden to you if I were to call you.
Yeah.
So you mentally, you know, and I
Yes.
get it. And I totally agree because I'm there as well, but it's very hard.
And that's one thing that I think, you know, with times changing the way they are, I think that's possible. One of the things that should change is that stigma of men, when you seek help, especially with your brotherhood, no matter whether you're a veteran or not, they're your brothers, they're your sisters. Like if they're telling you, call me anytime, take them up on it. And that's one thing I got to say, I got to get better at. But I will say being part of Active Valor makes a huge difference, because even though that one day that you're with that kid, that you're talking to the mom, you're talking to other veterans, like you forget everything.
Right.
You forget everything, because then what kicks in is, you know, I don't know what to call it, a hero complex, a savior complex, but your mentality, especially as veterans, it completely shifts, because you could be going through whatever you're going through, but now you have this kid with you, and this kid needs you, and your mentality shifts to, I need to be there for him. I need to be there for her. I need to, whatever they need. Let me ask about their school. Let me ask about how they're, you know, what they're going through. Do they need help at school? You know, like whatever it is, you know, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And not only do you create that relationship with that child, with their mother, but also the brotherhood with the other veterans that you have. Because I know that, I mean, at one point, the mentors were so many that I never met all of them. But I know that all I got to do is I could call one of them and say, hey, man, I know we haven't met, but we've crossed paths at the events. I'm with Active Valor. I need to reach out. And I know it's not going to be right now it's not a good time. It's like, what's up?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, we really wanted that part of the program to thrive is, and it's sometimes challenging because there is so much focus on your mentee and wanted to be there for them. That's why we try to, at least early in the events, get the vets there first so that they can have their time to just, you know, again, sit and chat and talk and share stories or just get to know one another. And because we want that community, you know, I spent so long in isolation without having that support system, to where we wanted to prevent that. And again, it's what you just said, it goes for everybody, or at least for every dude, you know, and I know every one of those guys would be completely willing for me to shoot a phone call to them, but you know, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard for guys to ask for help. And, but we want to kind of take that mindset away if possible, but just by, like you said, just by being there, introducing everybody to one another. And, you know, when the families show up, you know, the focus shifts, but, we don't want to lose that aspect, you know, because we started it for the veterans. So we don't want to lose that community and the camaraderie that could be grown during that time. And
it is. And, you and Jamie do an amazing job at that. Last year, you guys had just the vets. You know, you had an event just for us. We want to do more of that. And that one day was huge. That's where I really got to know the other guys. You know, because you know, on the weekend we're with the kid. Right. That's it. That's our focus, right? But that event, I mean, I talked to almost everybody, and like you start realizing, like, man, make a connection with this guy. Holy shit, we had a lot in common.
Right.
Fuck, there was one that I was like, I was in Fallujah in '05. I was there too. What unit? Oh shit, I lived over here. Like, you don't realize how easy you can make a connection.
Right.
You learn from others and you really create that bond too. So I know, even though we don't hang out as much or ever, like, I know right now I can call Eugene and tell him, hey man, and he'll probably, Eugene, by the way,
will drop everything.
Not only will he
He's that
drop
type of guy.
everything to be there for you, but he's also, he owns a gym here in San Diego, Unbroken Fitness, I believe it's called. And knowing Eugene, he'll be there. He'll maybe come pick me up, but he'll drive me to the gym. He'll smoke me first. And then, all right, now let's talk it out. But at that point, I'll be like, I don't want to talk. I'm tired, but I feel good, bro. Like,
Thanks. Your job all done, buddy. I'm going home.
But I had always seen Eugene at the events, but I never had a chance to actually talk. And then that day I talked to him so much, and I was like, and he started telling me about his plans to open up a gym. And with what I've gone through, my experiences of starting businesses, I was like, dude, I'm not the expert, but I've gone through it. I've gone through failures. I've gone through successes. Hit me up, whatever questions you have. And if I don't know, I'll put you in touch with the people that helped me get here. You know, and that's what I love about Active Valor, that, yeah, we're there for the kids, we're there for the families, but we're also there for each other. And that, especially like you said, that transition from military to civilian life, you lose that everyday brotherhood that you have, you know, that team mentality that, you know, if you served 4 years, 5 years, 8, 20, whatever, you were always part of a team, part of that organization of fellow brothers and sisters with the same mentality. And then you become a civilian, and now you're working with people that, even if you make a joke, you know, they're like looking at you like, man, who the hell is this weirdo?
First job
people are serious about the wrong things today.
Yeah.
People are serious about the wrong things. So Perry, love the story, man. What do you guys need? Like, how can people support? Is it financial? You're obviously short on volunteers now.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean,
what are the goals? Where is Active Valor headed this year?
Yeah. Right now, obviously, our biggest hurdle is the veterans. So finding guys that will be dedicated to, and listen, it's bare minimum 3 days a year. Like that's not a lot to ask for, in my opinion. Like, even
true,
you know, and we are, well, before COVID hit, we would at least put out our annual calendar so you could plan ahead of like, okay, these adventures are going to be this date, this date, this date. There's a spring, summer, fall. Simple. Now it's more challenging because we have to find locations that will allow us to come. So that's another need, is finding, you know, spaces that can hold 100, 150 people and won't have to throw all these restrictions on us. So,
right.
And let us just do our thing. You know, so we do best when we're kind of left alone. It's great when we have, you know, like, so every Halloween we would do the zombie hunt we were just talking about before we started. And that is a trip, man. So just a glimpse on that. So every Halloween.
Well, you'll be coming back on episode, I don't know. Well at that point, it'll be episode 45 to talk about that. Yeah. No. They'll be episode 45.
So yeah, it's just finding facilities that will be able to house us, let us do our thing. And and then on the financial side. So as far as like fundraising goes, we're not the best. And again, it's me and Jamie. We're not fundraisers. And so like, we've done a decent job over the past 5 years. You know, we have our annual dinner every year. It doesn't look like we're doing that this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The last year, just for the amount of work that it is for us to throw on these giant galas, like, one, we don't really have the right network to really throw some big dollars at it, but it's just a lot of work for not having a staff as well. So, but we're still going to do the golf tournament. So we had our first golf tournament last year, which was decently successful for our first one. And
but I don't think there's too much you and Jamie do that you're not going to have success at. You can definitely see clear, like, you manifest all the things that you guys have achieved.
I mean, true, but at the same time, I think we're starting to reach our limits.
Got it.
And even with the nonprofit aspect, like, it's so hard to ask for help. Like, we just don't do it, right? We're like, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll forge ahead. But, you know, we have limitations. You know, we only have 2 people thinking about things. And if we don't have experience in what we're trying to do, then it's obviously a lot harder. So we're going to try this year to get a little better with seeking assistance from others as well. and people that just want to be a part of, the behind the scenes and helping it grow a little bit. But yeah, we're still going to do the golf tournament this year, and we're still tossing around ideas for some smaller fundraisers and stuff. But we have options to give online, and we are trying to build up our monthly donor base for online donations, and there's like apparel and stuff like that. So there's many ways, but it's just kind of figuring out how to break those barriers and grow our reach a little bit.
Well, if you're a business owner here in San Diego and you have a facility that can support Active Valor, support at least 100 people, please either get up with us or with Active Valor. What are you guys on Instagram? Just Active Valor?
Just Active Valor.
No dot or anything, right? It's just Active Valor. Okay. Go on Instagram, look up Active Valor, and hit them up and let them know you're willing to help, or if you know of somebody that you can put us in touch with, or Perry in touch with, that can assist with a facility. Same thing with fundraising. If you want to donate some time to help with fundraising, if that's okay, please, whatever you think you can provide and help Active Valor, please go on their Instagram, send them a message. Or is there another way you'd like for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can do. You can just go to the website, which is activevalor.com, and it's Active Valor. A lot of people say Active Valor like that terrible.
Active Valor, like
that Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, no, not that movie.
Those badass actors.
Okay. I'm gonna admit, I saw Active Valor the other day on Netflix. And I'm like, is that what? No, it's Active Valor. It's not Active Valor.
Active.
That's funny.
Like, hey,
that's
I'm
funny
being
that you said
active.
that. Active.
Yeah, so activevalor.com, and then there's like an email address in there, or just info@activevalor.com.
Well, we're going to put all the information.
Yes.
If you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be on the description. We'll put all the information to get in touch with Perry here from Active Valor, not Act of, where you had those awesome actors in that movie. Which I think portrayed the SEALs 100% accurately, correct?
Wow.
Yeah, they did a good job being themselves.
Yeah. But hey, man, thank you.
No,
Perry, thank you.
Appreciate you having me on.
Our first guest ever. And
Seriously, you knocked it out of the park.
Big shoes.
yeah. So again, everybody, if you're still listening, thank you so much. Please subscribe. Leave us a review, an honest review. If there's a topic you want us to cover or an organization that you think we should highlight, please send us a DM on Instagram, efren.chacon.realtor. And Oli
Emerkees, Oli does lending, and Perry, this was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
First
thank you guys.
guest, and you knocked it out.
Honored.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.